Hey everyone, Chaos Giga here, and in today's episode of Chaosville, this is episode 22, I believe. I've already lost count. I basically wanted to make this a basic guide on like how to build big fields like early game. It's actually not that hard. Literally, what I found to be the best for like wheat purposes and carrot purposes, beet purposes, and potato purposes is basically just build a 9x9 plot around one block of water. And the thing that's also interesting is that if you put fence around this, you can just dump buckets of water in the corner of the fence. The water will not go through the fence, so it'll auto-harvest all the crops for you, and you do not have to waste time going through and beating all the crops. Now I'm old-fashioned. Most of my fields that you'll see in most of my videos, I have this set up. I just recently started getting industrial sized, which is that one back there, which utilizes some redstone, which is basically towards end game if you ask me, because you only want that many crops up there if you're wanting to sell it for emeralds, which is basically where I'm to in my game now. I want to make a crap ton of emeralds so I can build a pyramid, have a treasure room, and do some other things, you know, buy some things. But anyway, let's get right into this. So there is some important things to note here. You can either just leave that spot in the middle as water and farm this with water buckets without the fence, or farm it by hand if you wish. Just depends on what you feel like doing. But there is a way around having to worry about accidentally stepping into this, and that's to put a lily pad on it. So you have that option if you're manually farming, if you prefer to manually farm, that is, and you don't want to have to worry about accidentally stepping in the water and then jumping back up here. So like if I did this and then I had to jump out of the water, sometimes this plot will turn back into dirt because I've jumped on it. So now, without further ado, let's go ahead and plant some crops. I've got the tick speed sped up, so it shouldn't take very long for it to grow here. So I'm going to go ahead and plant these real quick. And then I'm going to plant some carrots in that one over there, and then I'll show you the water trick. Okay, so I got all the plants, the crops planted, that's what I meant to say. And now we're just going to wait for them to grow a little bit more before harvesting. As you can see, it hasn't been very long, and I've already got most of this grown. That's because I've got the tick speed set to 100. It's normally at 1. So yeah, crops will grow a lot faster. So just be warned, I'm in my creative map, so that's why everything's going to grow faster here. While we're waiting for this to grow, over here is the building I plan on building in my realm for storage. So I might do a time-lapse video on that, or time-lapse section on that. It shouldn't take me very long. It didn't take me very long to build it. The only addition I'm going to have to make to it is I'm going to have to put brown carpet on top of those wood planks there. It's the only way to prevent things from spawning, I'm afraid, unfortunately, unless I put some lanterns up there, and I don't know if that's going to look too good with lanterns on top of it. So I'll have to figure out something there. Anyway, let's get back to this. So I've put myself into survival so that I can actually harvest normally. So this is what I normally do with my wheat field in my realm. So I go through and I just punch all this down like that. So I'm harvesting it all. Those ones I'm not getting seeds out of, they're not fully grown yet. So you see that lily pad helped there when I was just trying to walk over it. These are some of the things I wished I knew when I first started playing Minecraft. And apparently, the easiest way to get the lily pad, in my opinion, is to fish for it. Just make a fish farm and fish for it. Because it is an item that you can get just about anywhere. I don't know how that's going to work out in 1.16. I haven't tested the fishing abilities of that. But then now you get more seeds. You got like tons more seeds that you can replant now for your wheat. The same is true when your carrots fully grow, potatoes and beets. So this is like one of the first farms I would recommend building in your world, whether you're in your survival single player or survival multiplayer. This is basically the bread and butter, if you will. I wish I'd known this a long time ago, because I used to think that you could only go 3 blocks wide, and then you had to have like a water block in between, like 3 blocks wide on this side and 3 blocks wide on this side. That's not the case. A 9x9 is very feasible. That means you get 80 plots of land, farmland, to work with. And you can fence every single one of them in and then do this little trick here that I'm about to show you, which is really, really simple. Dump a bucket of water. Not there. Not there. Right here on the crop. Goes there. It auto harvest a bunch. So you can just dump it, pick it up real quick as soon as it starts taking off, because and it's going to push all the crops towards the center too sometimes, so you'll have to go over there and get them after you're done here. Makes crop harvesting a lot faster. And I picked all those up. Didn't even have to step down in the water bucket there, so yeah. So you can see that I harvested all the crops. They were fully grown, because you get a lot of carrots that are fully grown. Basically, that's just the basics for farming, and quite frankly, like I said, I wish I had known that, and I haven't seen very many updated YouTube videos on this kind of farming aspect. I see a lot of automatic farms and semi-automatic farms utilizing redstone dust, but early like game farms I haven't seen a lot of videos of, so I wish I would have had a video like this to show me this. But anyway, without further ado, let's get right into the episode, shall we? Alright, here we are in my realm, and we're going to first harvest all the carrots on the roof of the trading post building, because now we're going to move that all over into, as you can see I got 2 silver boxes ready for that. We're going to move all this over into the semi-automatic industrial-sized farm that I made up here. And I plan on making another like kind of mirror image of this, but like one section only of nothing but soul sand. So that way we can start auto-harvesting, well, semi-auto harvesting nether warts on soul sand down there. So I think that would be great, because nether wart is a must for potion brewing, and I plan on doing another guide on potion brews. So let me know if you're looking forward to that, or if that's not a thing you're interested in. I know there's not very many updated videos on that, or at least I didn't see any. Double check and make sure I didn't miss any. But anyway, I already did the redstone on it, on the farm and everything. I actually put it up top. The storage building will be down below, and this right here I need to show you guys before we get harvesting carrots. So this is the door. This is the piston door, which utilizes honey blocks and slime blocks. And man oh man, is it so nice. It's a double-sided door, so it's got 2 sides to it. And I left the bamboo scaffolding up there so I could get up there. I don't know why I did that, but yeah. My brother and I worked together on this just to figure it out. It's actually not that hard. I will leave a link in the description to Mumbo Jumbo's video on these kind of doors. He's got several world saves that he shared on there, and obviously I downloaded them so that way I could teach myself basically the kind of door I wanted. Now he did not have a double-sided door in there, but it's really not that hard to make. You just gotta remember you gotta have a space in between, because everything the slime and honey blocks touch, they are going to stick to and want to drag, with the exception of glazed terracotta. I don't know why I came through here. That was terrible. So now I'm just going to go ahead and harvest all my carrots up on the roof here. The future plans are to expand this trading post up by 2 more floors. So this 3rd floor is basically going to be nothing but farmers, and we're going to have a 4th floor with, I guess, nothing but fishermen and some other like clerics. We're going to need some more clerics. So probably half and half of cleric and fisherman. My brother needs more fishermen for, well, I actually have to ask him, because I know he changed the last 3 villagers I had upstairs in my mansion to fishermen, so he might not need any more. I know we need more clerics for the gold farm, because we get a lot of that rotten flesh, and they only take so much of it, so it's kind of annoying, really. I wish they would be able to take more for the emeralds. Maybe that'll be in a future update. Maybe a villager update or something like that. That'd be great. Maybe make villagers smarter. Especially when we're trying to capture them and take them and make them our prisoners for these farms and stuff that we make in here. The point is with this is basically just getting it off this roof here, replanting as many of the carrots as I can that I get from this harvest here over there, and then I'll grab wheat seeds, which I've saved from the last couple of harvests of the wheat field downstairs next to the cattle, and I will plant them in this big field, and I will show you how this industrial farm is going to work. Obviously there might be some things that need to be adjusted on it or not. It just depends on your taste. I don't mind crops being knocked up and floating on top of the pathways I have in the middle of the plots, but I do mind having to constantly remake dirt into farmland whenever I just try to gently hop down into the field. I really wish there was something we could do to fix that, but there's obviously not. I might be able to actually put some half slabs down. I think that might actually work, but we'll see if I have to. So that might be a thing we have to do today too. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and harvest all these carrots I've got on here, and I will catch you guys back over at the semi-auto farm. Before we get started, I wanted to show you guys that I moved the stairs, which I had made out of wood on the inside, where the new gate is at, to over here, so they're a little bit closer for me to get up, so we can just get right back on the wall right there. It just seems to make more sense to me. And then we're going to have a gate tower eventually on top of this gate, so these stairs right here probably won't even exist. We'll have to go out the gate, and we'll have a new stair system that leads up from the ground out here somewhere, but I will eventually work on that. And why I say we is because my brother and I and anybody else in the realm can actually use this farm. It's not just going to be for me, it's for everyone. Just like the villager trading post is for everyone to use. There's no limits to anybody using my stuff in here, with the exception of my concrete farm. That's my diamond maker, right? So here is the industrial sized semi-automatic farm, and basically all you got to do is pull this lever and it releases the trap doors, or lowers the trap doors to where all the water comes out. And there's a dirt plot. That's strange. Well, anyway, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my diamond hoe that I have enchanted with Unbreaking 3 and Mending, just because you never know when you might need it. Like, for instance, like that right there. I don't know how that happened. So I'm going to try something. I know there's a way to just barely shove off, and see, the plot did not change. So I don't know if this is the same for when we jump up to get up. It looks like it is. Okay, so if that is fine, can I drop off? Yes. Okay, good. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start planting all the crops in here, and I'll come back when I've at least got all the carrots planted. So if I don't have all the plots full and I've gotten all the carrots planted, I'll show you how far I got with what I had up there. But I don't think it's going to do the whole thing. There's no way. I don't see it doing the whole thing. Alright, so I was wrong. Apparently that was almost enough carrots to do the whole entire thing, which is not a bad thing, but I was hoping to be able to plant some wheat. The main thing is, this thing is built to where it'll harvest, well, semi-auto harvest. Well, it'll harvest all the crops, okay? So this thing's going to harvest all the crops, and that cuts out half of the time that I usually waste with crops, because basically we have to plant the crop. Now, there is a machine or a redstone machine that you can just you can AFK at, but it requires a lot of bone meal. And I know I'm good at finding boneman spawners, but not everybody is, and that's not something that's really representable for when you're wanting to use bone meal for other things. So like for me, I want to use bone meal for my tree farm, I want to use it for dyes for my concrete and other stuff like that. I don't want to have to waste it on my crops. There is a way to increase the yield of this too, or increase the growth rate, and that's to use bees. You can tie a bee with a lasso to a fence post. You just have to make sure you have flowers potted close to their vicinity, so that way when they're stuck on the lasso, they'll actually be able to fly to a flower. They just won't have a hive, and I don't know if that will cause them to despawn. I cannot say that for sure, but that's just a suggestion I would make to increase the yield of crops on the smaller farms. This one right here, you really won't need that because this one right here is just meant to allow the crops to grow at their normal rates, and then we'll just come over, and after everything looks like it's fully grown, we just click the lever from over there. And the reason why I put the lever up this high again was because I want to be able to see how long it takes the water to get through, so I can see that the water has gone all the way through all the fields. And number two, I can see where all the crops that get stuck have gotten stuck at, so I can go gather them up. Because we're going to have that for a few attempts here until I finally figure out a way to stop that from happening. Which I might not even worry about it. I'm not too concerned about having to go through and gather the crops up. I'm going to have to gather them up from the chest below anyway. I am, like I said, going to build that storage building that I showed you guys in my creative world. And I don't know if I'm going to have this water trough lead into it, or just leave it to where it drops the crops off into the chest, and then I'll just store the stuff from these chests into chests in there. The other thing is the cattle wheat farm is going to be getting destroyed because this one right here will be able to grow wheat, so I can just grow a crap ton of wheat in one go and keep all the seeds, so that way I can have enough to grow again in all these plots, and that'll probably be enough wheat to last me for at least a couple of in-game weeks for the cattle, which I really don't use steak that much anymore, but it's a lot more cheaper to get steak than it is these golden carrots, to be honest. I am a fan of the golden carrots. They're a little bit quicker on eating, but they do not heal as much of the hunger as I'd like. Like the steaks heal like 3 chicken bones, and the carrots heal like 2. The golden carrots do, and but they do decrease your satiety. Completely wrong. It's saturating. It saturates you to where you don't have to worry about eating so often. So that is a plus on the golden carrot when compared to the steak. But right now we're just going to wait till all these carrots grow up into fully grown carrots, and we'll come over here and hit the switch and we'll see what happens. Alright, so it's been a few in-game days. Looks like everything is grown to its fullest. So now we're just going to go ahead and hit the lever to release the water to auto harvest. Look at that, it is so satisfying. Every once in a while you're going to see some of the carrots actually jump up onto the edge. That is completely fine for now. That did cause some lag. Alright, now I think we're safe to just go ahead and close those. I don't see any on this side, so I'm going to go ahead and run up these sides here and gather all these carrots. We'll see exactly how many I had. Looks like there are some areas where I could add onto the wall if I really wanted to, but I'm not going to worry about it because, quite frankly, just running through here and gathering all these up is not going to be a problem for me. There's a little bit of lag whenever the water starts to recede, but other than that, it doesn't seem that bad. And keep in mind, this is Java Edition, and then this is Realms, in the Realms area. So, and Realms is not the greatest, I'll be honest with you guys. I wish they would upgrade it, or at least do something to where we could actually have some of the decent mods in the game, such as making wool from string, or, well, not wool from string, but string from wool. That is something that I think they should have put in the game for a long time now. And I've only been playing this game for like 6 months. So, I think maybe a stack of carrots, maybe even less than that. Yeah, almost a stack of carrots made on the outside. But I mean, if you could see right now that it's not taking me very long just to run around the outer perimeter here just to gather them all up. And I mean, you can fix it by making these walls too high. You'll just have to always carry a hoe on you or have some sort of stair system that gets you close to the field. Because basically how I do this is we just go up to the edge. I forgot to mention this. I didn't have any accidents going in here. So there was a couple of spots where there was dirt instead of farmland, and I think that was because spiders. So I put more torches down there so that way we wouldn't have so many spawns and a lot less spiders now. But you just get really close to the edge, and gravity along with drag on this block will prevent you from destroying that block from, yeah, completely obliterating it from farmland into dirt. So let's go back over here, and we're going to see exactly how much we got in the harvest. And you're going to see this is why I have hopper mine carts down there. Because you're going to have so many crops coming down at once. So yeah, we got 5 stacks there. Let's go ahead and put this stack in there too. So that'll be 6 stacks. 11. And we're still getting more in the end here. So that's quite a few stacks. Almost basically a full double chest worth, probably more. Oh man, there's a whole bunch sitting up at the end. Yeah, so this isn't even a decent system to grab them all when they come out towards the end here. But that's why we have a hopper minecart up there, so that way it'll grab them faster. Obviously. Yeah, it's still sucking them in. But this was the first time using this so far. Like I said, I'm not sure if I want to have this just go straight into the building that I plan on building. I don't even know if I'm going to have a room to build it out here. It's 15 by 20, so I'll have to do some math here and figure out where I can put it at, to where the chimney's not running into the... I think it will fit right in this area here. It'll just cut into the floor I plan on putting in underneath this thing to make it to where I don't have to have these freaking torches, because I hate having torches like this all over the land. But it's like the only way to like light up the land without like using a whole ton of sea lanterns when you don't have a whole ton of sea lanterns. Real quick, I'm gonna go see if I can't just grab some of them carrots out of there, and then we can just put them in there. Put the door down. Again, guys, this is one of 2 new, well, updated guides, if you will, for like what I plan on doing. I plan on doing some updated guides for this game, and mind you, these are all very doable. Take a lot less redstone than most of the contraptions out there, like the industrialized size. If you plan on building the industrialized size, by all means do so. Just not everybody. Yeah, I can't grab them. That's okay. I just want to do this video here to show people that the best ways to start out the game for farming, basically. And that was the first 2 fields I showed you guys, which 9x9 is perfect for a beginner. Just starting out. Once you've got a little house built, build that, and then you can put fence around it, because wood is pretty easy for most part of the game, with the exception if you spawn into a desert or into a Badlands region, or even in the ocean, I guess, on an island with no trees. That would kind of suck, but you could still make a dirt house and then have a field, and then you can auto harvest. Now, you can also use flying machines, but I don't know if the flying machine will turn this back into dirt. I think it will, to be honest. But I prefer this method just because this causes a lot less lag. The only problem you'll have is probably this right here with the hopper minecart system. I might have to add on to this because it was not pulling the crops down fast enough. We had way too many crops down in there. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it was informative. This will work in both Java and Bedrock, as far as I'm aware. I've tested it in both. So yeah, this is probably the most efficient way to get crops the fastest so you can sell to villagers, in my opinion. 6 months ago when I first started this game, I was completely lost on exactly how many spots of water I would need per line of crops. Obviously, that 9x9, you have the plot in the middle, so you can basically have 4 on each side of that water plot. So that makes it very decent with the square there. And that's why I wanted to share that with everyone, so that way they know when they first start this game that, hey, this is actually a pretty decent field size for me. And that's going to pay out dividends on your wheat and carrots for beginning game. I can't say that enough. But anyway, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please make sure to like it down below. It helps me out a lot. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. At least consider it, because I plan on doing some more Minecraft guides. The next one on my list is a brewing guide, basically. An updated version of the brewing guide. There's only one potion that I won't be able to cover, except I can show it off, and that's the luck potion. Obviously, we can't make that potion in Java Edition, and there's one potion I think that's not in Java that is also only in Bedrock. So I'll cover that in that video too. But basically, brewing is very, very, well, complicated if you don't have a mod that shows you exactly all of the stuff that is needed for each different potion. And even I have trouble remembering exactly what I need, and I will share with you a picture which was shared on Google at some point in time. I don't know, I don't even remember which website it was shared from, but I use that a lot. I'm going to set up a little setup in one of my creative worlds, or at least my creative world. We'll go through all the potions in Java Edition, showing you how to create them and how to make splash potions and the lingering potions, which really aren't that hard. It's just it's overcomplicated by the fact that it's easy to forget what is required for each potion, and there's a couple potions that feed off of another potion, so we'll cover all of that in the next guide. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next episode of Chaosville or in the guide.